I have the audacity to believe that peoples everywhere can have 3 meals a day for their bodies, education and culture for their minds, and dignity, equality, and freedom for their spirits. I believe that what self-centered men have torn down, men other-centered can build up. I still believe that we shall overcome. This faith can give us courage to face the uncertainties of the future. It will give our tired feet new strength as we continue our forward stride toward the city of freedom. When our days become dreary with low hovering clouds, and our nights become darker than 1,000 midnights, we will know that we are living in the creative turmoil of a genuine civilization struggling to be born.
The worst politicians in America will be quoting Martin Luther King Jr. You can't quote "I have a dream" on MLK Day and then legislate against that dream every other day of the year. Dr. King described what he called the 3 evils: racism, poverty, and war. What would Dr. King say about 10 million children living in poverty in the wealthiest nation on earth? What would Dr. King say about a maternal mortality rate in Texas, which is 3 times higher for black women? What would Dr. King say about a new American imperialism seeking to colonize Greenland and Venezuela? And what would Dr. King say about masked men in unmarked vehicles kidnapping people off of our streets? Dr. King dreamed of a world without racism, without poverty, without war. It's the dream that got him killed. And it's the dream that we must make a reality.
Mira, escondete, Vanessa. Se esconde, te esconde.
¿Y ahí están los carros?
Sí.
¿Están caminando? Cuatro, 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8.
Aguas, vienen para acá, vamos. Para acá,
That the Epstein files, it continues. It's even worse. I just spent hours listening to another testimony. And when the testimony came out just in the last few days, that's when they pump up the Minnesota. Pump up the Minnesota, beat a few more people up, kill a few more people. Get everybody to look over there. Don't look. And again, I'm not talking about just trafficking. I'm talking about outrageous snuff films, murdering young, I would say children, youth. They're supposed to be graveyards filled with missing kids, and no one knew who they were. I know I sound like a crazy person, I know, but it's not. There is a testimony, Sasha Riley. I ask people to go and investigate and listen to it yourself. There are some issues.
Welcome back to This Week in Tyranny. While the country watches Trump's egregious occupation of Minnesota, here's some other unlawful stuff you might have missed. Federal agents blinded 2 people in California, the DOJ moved to bury the Epstein files, and Trump committed war crimes with disguised aircraft before handing Venezuela's oil to a campaign donor. Let's get into it. Last week in Santa Ana, California, about 150 people gathered for a vigil honoring Renee Good. Local elected officials were there, parents with strollers. It was, by all accounts, peaceful. Then federal agents opened fire. Caden Rumler is 21 years old, 5'1", 102 pounds. Video shows a Homeland Security agent shot him in the face with a so-called less lethal round from just a few feet away. Doctors found glass shards and plastic fragments in his skull, a piece of metal lodged just shy of his carotid artery. They pulled a piece of plastic the size of a nickel out of his eye. He's blind in his left eye now. He said it was a miracle he survived. A second person, 31-year-old Britton Rodriguez, took a similar shot to the face at the same protest. He said it felt like his eye exploded in his head. He's also blind now. DHS policy explicitly classifies weapons to the head as, quote, deadly force. A criminologist who studies crowd control said recent DHS actions, quote, appear inconsistent with basic principles of crowd management and de-escalation. You think? 2 people are permanently blind because they attended a candlelight vigil.
So, I don't even know what I'm going to say. I came to my car because I thought I was probably going to start crying. And I'm going to come here. I'm going to tell you guys, if you are someone who is on the constant receiving end of ICE videos, as I am, I just can't describe to you. For every horrible ICE video you're seeing right now, there are 300 others that you're not seeing. In Minnesota, but not just there, Los Angeles has been under siege all week. We have lost dozens and dozens of people who have been disappeared. Street vendors, people who are working, which again, for all of you saying, get these people out of the country, they're freeloaders, why are they all being taken from their jobs? They're working. They're being ripped away from their families. We had a raid a couple of days ago where a parent to 3 small children was taken. What will happen to those 3 small children now? If you are someone who is watching this and going, I really, this is so awful, but I don't want to go out and protest, fine. Think about your dollars. And I am talking about people globally as well. If you have a problem with this, do not spend your dollars on companies that are cooperating with this in any way. I am talking about Amazon. I am talking about Home Depot. I am talking about Hilton Hotels. And there are many others. Do a little research and stop shopping with these companies. It's inconvenient. Guess what's really inconvenient? Having your town and your city under siege by people who have been told they have immunity to do anything they want, who are blinding 21-year-olds by shooting them in the face with rubber bullets, who are abducting little girls, disappearing them into a system where we have no idea what's happening to them. They're depriving mothers of the opportunity to say goodbye to their child who is dying of cancer. I could go on. There's not enough time on this video. I am wrecked by what is happening in our country right now because the inhumanity is staggering. Start to think about how you can help. If the only way you can do that is by withholding your dollars from any organization or corporation that is participating with this government, please do that. If you are in another country, don't come here. It is not safe here right now. It is not safe here. This government is out of control. I am grieving for our country right now. What is happening here is horrendous. Pray for us. Do not spend your money with these companies. If you are sitting on the sidelines, find a way to help. Do not lose your humanity over this. Do not lose your humanity over this, like the other side has. Thank you.
So that's 2 ICE agents going into a restaurant asking for one of the employees, and the restaurant said, get bent. But there's more to the story than just that. The restaurant is Ola Aripo. Now, I just randomly ended up there last night for dinner, and the universe has a wild way of bringing people together. When I walked in, the management and the staff, they knew who I was. They showed me a lot of love, super, super nice folk. And then they told me the story that this happened like 5 or 6 days ago, and ICE came in looking for their employee, and they were like, no, but what you can do is get the hell out of our property. Fuck yeah, fuck ICE forever. And then, let me tell you what happened next. She then tells me, the manager does, that they put a policy in place to make sure that their employees get to and from work safely. I mean, it's so fucking dope because for those of you who don't know, ICE is out here pulling Uber drivers over, going on public transit and yanking people. Like, when you're traveling, you're at a really high risk out here. I mean, I can't even believe that I'm talking about this and it's America, but this is America. This is Minneapolis. This is the Twin Cities, St. Paul. And they're literally snatching people up going on their way to work. The illegals that don't have a job and are living off the system, they're snatching them up on the way to work, right? The criminals that are just out here doing crime, they're snatching them up on their way to work. Well, what the restaurant did was the restaurant employees volunteer their time. Those with the citizens, the white privilege, they fucking get people to and from work. That is the dopest shit, dude. And for those who don't feel comfortable coming to work, they're making sure that they're taken care of in other ways. That is the dopest shit, dude. And let me tell you the other thing about this restaurant. Not only do they tell ICE, fuck off. Not only is their staff and their owners just badass motherfuckers who are taking care of their fellow citizens and their employees, but the food is good as shit. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, dude. That food was so good. It was, and the margaritas, bro. They got like this blackberry margarita slushy. They gave me like a shot sample of when I came in. Delicious. Dude, I just had the best time. They're the best people. They got amazing fucking food, and they take care of their employees, and they tell ICE to fuck off, dude. If you're anywhere near the area, go check them out. And they're not. By the way, they're not even asking me to promote the restaurant. I'm just doing it because the shit's so they're so badass. Anyway, show them some love.
It's time for the Trucker John Livestream. Gonna be a good time, oh yeah. The Trucker John Livestream. Come along for a good time. It's a good time, good time, good time, good time. Trucker John Livestream. It's gonna be a good time. The time of your life. Gonna talk some shit, hush your mouth. Gonna talk a little smack. Gonna talk whatever comes of it. You're gonna always wanna come back. Well, yeah, it's the Trucker John Livestream. He's the biggest, baddest, funniest mother you've ever seen. Watch your mouth, he's headed south. Not even sure what that means, but if it's one thing I know, the Trucker John Livestream is the best thing you've ever seen.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've been waiting for, Trucker John.
Morning, good morning, good morning. Testing, 1, 2, 3. All right. Thanks everyone for being here. Thanks all the sparklers who come over and raided over here. Yes, the universe has brought us together, I believe, as the jolly good ginger would say. Thanks everyone for being here. I do appreciate you for coming over today and hanging out for a bit. We have 180 watching, only 56 thumbs ups. As I like to tell everyone, we are operating right now a little like skeezy Republicans with that Got a huge deficit of thumbs up. So let's get to be a little bit more democratic, like Democratic Party, Democrats in general, and operate on a balanced budget. So hit that thumbs up and get us to that balanced budget. Anyhow, thanks guys for being here. I appreciate you. I hope the intro was good. I hope you liked it. Starting off with MLK, appropriate because today is it's the MLK weekend. I guess this is the actual holiday for MLK. So I started off with him, and I thought it was really good how on the next one, James Tillerico, who is a Texas state legislator, and he's running for Senate there in Texas. I thought it was great how he said that all of these. I'm paraphrasing, but some of the most awful Republicans will be quoting MLK, and you can't really quote MLK and then turn around and vote for or back legislation that is really awful and inhumane to people. If one thing, MLK, he wasn't inhumane. He wasn't about that. So, just putting out the hypocrisy of so many of these, especially Republican politicians that like to quote MLK and then turn right around and vote to give ICE more money than almost all of our other things that we give money to combined, taking away hundreds of billions of dollars from Medicaid to give it to ICE. The hypocrisy here on MLK Day. And I realize that also, all this ICE stuff has been very effective in distracting us from Epstein files, right? Epstein. And meanwhile, all that's going kind of by the wayside with all this ICE stuff. So, but I think we can walk and chew gum at the same time. We can be concerned about what's going on in Minnesota and in LA and anywhere else across the country with ICE, pertaining to ICE and all of the abuses there, the human rights abuses that are going on in our own country. To be clear, it seems like when we think of human rights violations, we always think of maybe some other country. No, it's going on right here. But we can also talk about Epstein. We can do both. So anyhow, good to see everybody. I saw Sandy Foltz was in here first. Paul Burrows is here. Danny Pomeroy. Good to see Danny Pomeroy. Nola Carnes, thanks for being here. I do appreciate you for coming on in into the driver's lounge. And I appreciate all the folks, all the sparklers coming over. Appreciate you guys. Sandy Foltz, get with a $2 super chat. Yippee, Sandy Foltz. Thank you so much. Sandy Foltz just says, I'm first. Yes, and happy birthday to Sandy. Yesterday was Sandy's birthday. We weren't on yesterday, so I'm going to say happy birthday today to Sandy Foltz. So hope you had a good birthday. I did see your live stream on Facebook making your cake. Looked delicious. I wanted to take a bite of it. I wanted to have a slice of it because I love chocolate. I love chocolate cake. But anyway, happy birthday to you, Sandy. Sandy. Happy birthday. Once again, I'm a little stuffed up here. So Nola Carnes says the weather sucks. This month is going at a snail's pace, apparently. Nola Carnes says Trump says he will take over Greenland because they snuffed him for the Nobel Peace Prize. Yeah, Greenland has nothing to do with the Nobel Peace Prize. And Trump's just an idiot. Nola Carnes. Now it's 8 wars plus. Good Lord. Yeah, Trump just continually showing what how unhinged and how he's just losing it. He's just losing it. Real Carnes, I was not eating. I was just waiting for Hal to finish up. I was actually done on time. Eating had nothing to do with me being. I did start late. I said 11, and I was just waiting for Hal to finish up, and then, you know. Aaron West super chat goal is up. Oh yes, the goal is up. Thank you, Aaron, for noticing that. DPD 5844 is here. Hello, DPD. Good to see you. Who else is in here? We got Anna Moore. Hey, Anna Moore. Always good to see Anna in the driver's lounge. We got Paul Burrows. Yeah, Paul Burrows here from Idaho. All the way from Idaho. Here's Cheryl MK. Sparkler. Thanks for the sparklers that came over. Derek 209. John Palmater. This must be when the I'm behind the chat. For those of you that don't know, yeah, I read the chat and then, you know, so I'm usually always 20 or 30 minutes behind. So here's some when the sparklers were coming over. There's the Soulcraft. I got the Soulcraft in here. MM Note, Breaker 19, Breaker 19, Breaker 19. You got your ears on? Hey, MM Note, you got your ears on? Vincent Owens is here today. Melted Cheetah, get the fuck out, Gestapo. John Palmater 66. We got us a convoy. That's right. You guys convoyed on over, didn't you? Melted Cheetah. This lady gets it. That I think probably the one was talking about the distraction, right? Of ICE being a distraction. And it just shows how Donald Trump has no, is it compunction? He has no compunction, no worry, no conscience, no regrets about if other people get murdered or killed, as long as it distracts from Epstein. That's how serious this is. That's how deep he is in the Epstein files, is that he's willing to just let ICE run roughshod over Americans and over American justice, over American rights. And if people get hurt and killed in the way, doesn't care, because the Epstein files and everything, Epstein, his involvement, everything that he did on that island and other places is truly horrific. And it is something that should put him in prison for the rest of his life, his miserable fucking life. So that's why has no problem with what ICE is doing. Alton Gillespie's here. It says fresh in from Hal. Howdy, TJ. Hello, Alton Gillespie. Always good to see you. Thanks for popping on in. William's here. Hello, William. Note, it's all distraction. Yeah, it is. Oh, shoot. I had a pen. Oh, well, I guess I'll get that later. I dropped an ink pen that I had. Ooh, I just picked it up. I just picked up my ink pen. I am shoeless. I'm not naked, but I'm not wearing shoes. I dropped the pen, and I did it like, you know how you see those videos of people who have like no arms, but they are able to use their feet very well? Well, I was able to pick this up with my toes. I'm quite amazed. I'm quite amazed. I didn't know I had I still had the dexterity. What is manual dexterity? It was like with your feet. What is foot dexterity? I guess it's just foot dexterity. I don't know. I've got foot dexterity, apparently. Vince Owens said that he only sold that oil for $10 a barrel. Why not? He's keeping it all for himself in Qatar. Mad Max, Slava Ukraini, absolutely, 100%. Slava Ukraini. Slava on the Ukraini. Jerry Mander, Sparkler Raid. Hey, Jerry, good to see you. Thanks for popping on in. I appreciate you. I don't know what I was going to say. I produce you. I do not produce you. Ms. Leslie says she's 100% right. The Epstein files are going unreported as they come out, as Trump does crazy shit to make us look elsewhere. Trump and the men he's coming for are actually, in reality, evil. And the thing is, it's not to make us look elsewhere for the stuff that's come out, because nothing's really come out. They've only released, at that last count that I heard, something like 0.4% of all the stuff in there. They haven't even released barely 0.5%. That's the story. That's the cover up. That's the thing that's going unreported, is that they haven't released anything. And what they have released has been, just Bill Clinton. They want to just throw Bill Clinton under the bus. There's nothing about Trump in there. So everything is heavily redacted, and they're only trying to find stuff that hurts Democrats, and nothing that'll hurt Republicans, and especially anything that'll hurt Trump. They've released not even 1%, a fraction of a percentage. And now, apparently, I don't know, they've sued or countersued, and they're saying that Congress doesn't have a right to that information, even though they passed a law that they're I guess they're appealing it or whatever. So they're just gonna, it's typical Trump tactics, and of delay and appeal and tie things up in court for as long as possible. That's the tactic. Pippi807 says, I'm here in Minneapolis and I'm outraged. Yeah, what a time, huh, to be there, and and where are they going to go to next? Because they've been going to Minneapolis. They're in LA. They've been in LA off and on. They've been in Portland. They go to Chicago. Is it just those cities? Notice he's always just going to go to a blue city, a blue state. Marie Warner, I hit the like. Thank you, Marie. I appreciate you. Make sure you hit that like button. Teresa TAK is here, or at least was at this point. I'm probably several minutes behind, but Teresa, if you're here, thanks for being here. And if you're not here, still thanks. But I mean, I just don't know if you are hearing me, because you might not be here. Aaron West is here. Thanks, Aaron. Appreciate you coming in and helping out and all that good stuff. Missy Leslie is here. Correct. It's all about the money. Money, 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 money. General Putnam says, I hear there's a nationwide strike on the 23rd. We've been talking about general strikes. When is it? Because I've been a big proponent of it. I've been trying to get people interested in that. So we'd like to hear more on that, on general strikes and the dates, things of this nature. So let's keep apprised of that. And then also in the intro about boycotting anyone that supports this fucking regime. Anyone that supports Trump, you're supporting tyranny, basically. You're man, I'm sneezing and wheezing. You're supporting the dismantling and destruction of our country if you support Trump. So we shouldn't stand for it. John Glad, who is the one with the short black hair? You know what? I think I know who you're talking about in the intro, the one that was saying was talking about she had like a list of things about the blinding two people in LA, and then she talked about Venezuela, the boats being attacked. You know what? I didn't get her name. She showed up in my feed, and I thought it was a good video. I should probably learn these people's names so I can give them proper attribution. And I'd never seen her before. Just like you, yeah. You're like, who's the woman? Yeah, because I had never seen her before either. But she was very good. Actually, what I put in there, that was actually a very long clip, much longer than what I put in the intro. I just felt like I had to shorten it for time. You know, I mean, that was probably like, I don't know, several minutes, and I think I cut it down to probably 45 seconds or something. But yeah, I don't know. I'll have to catch her name, and if she shows up again in the intro there. Barbara Nicholas is here. Hey, Barbara. Hi, anyone standing on the corner trying to shag some more people in. There you go. Shag them in, Barbara Nichols. You and the shag. You and your shag. Thank you, Barbara. I appreciate you. Luck Dragon says, if you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. Just keep moving. MLK. Was that that was a direct MLK quote, huh? DPD says, I know these motherfuckers are eating all kinds of shit in their food. Always Mad Mac, no other choice. Because Mad Max said don't say shit. When I watched that video the first time, I thought the same thing. Like, because Jolly Ginger was saying, like, you know, what do you say? Like, their food is good as shit or something like that. And I know it's an expression, and it's supposed to mean that it's really, really good when you say that. But yeah, my thought was like, you know what? I don't think maybe you should say, we're talking about food, that it's as good as shit, because I don't think shit's very good. But I know it's all, you know, an expression, and you know, I know what he meant, but you know, still. Miss Leslie says, is the right actually enjoying what's happening to our country? Trump has destroyed the character of our nation. The shining city on the hill is growing dimmer every day. Yeah, well, I think that Trump is losing support. It's not just from the lefties and the liberals, and I think he is. It is chipping into his base. He's losing support even in his base. I think. I'm pretty sure. We see polling on that. I think that little by little, there is finally sinking in. You know, and people, I think on the right, I think even this ICE stuff, they don't. I think that there are maybe not all of them, but little by little, you know, it's sinking in that this is not, even for them, this is not the America they want to see. They don't want to see, you know, this militarization of our streets. I mean, if it was just, you know, in the black neighborhoods and the brown neighborhoods, they probably wouldn't mind. But now it's going into the white neighborhoods. So, you know, there's that. Abe Nurick says, support each other, period. We need to get rid of this dictator. Absolutely. Nick Rich 1037. I believe I'm 19 minutes behind. I believe I'm 19 minutes behind you, Nick Rich. I'm 19 minutes behind. And we got Jolie here. So we got Jolie and we got Aaron. You guys, you know what that means, right? When we get Jolie and Aaron in here at the same time, that means we are full mod capacity. We're at full mod capacity. Full mod capacity. Thank you very much. We're at full mod capacity. Mr. Spock, hey, live long and prosper, Mr. Spock. Mr. Spock says protesters need to wear MAGA merch. Can't have videos of ICE beating up MAGA people. It would confuse ICE. Yeah, they'd be like, what? Does not compute, does not compute. John Glad says 3 degrees near Chicago. Chicago. Speaking of Chicago, go Rams. You notice I'm wearing my Rams gear tonight, or today, this morning, because I also wore same gear I wore last night. I was watching the game. What a game. I'm long time, lifelong Rams fan, so I'm happy the Rams were able to get away, get out of town with a victory there, and move on to the NFC Championship game next week against the Seattle Seahawks. Sandy Foltz says the Bills coach got fired. Wow. I guess when you lose to who'd they lose to? The Patriots? I guess they were just tired of coming so close every year and not making it. Marie Warner's here, 11:37 in Vegas, in my Vegas. So yeah, look at there. I'm still 18 minutes or whatever behind. We're still behind. I'm still behind you. Luck Dragon won a game. Congratulations, Rams. Keep it up. Hopefully, yeah. I'm looking forward to the game against the Seahawks. I think it's going to be one hell of a game. I really think it's going to be one hell of a game. Absolutely. Note, I like the Black Panthers energy. Happy MLK Day. Mad Mac TJ won't read this, but go Seahawks. There, I read it. There, are you happy? Hey, you can like whoever you like. You can like the Seahawks. You can root for the Seahawks. I'll be rooting for the Rams. You know? Cindy says, where's my man? I know you're looking for Josh. It's funny. Okay, let's see who else is in the chat room here. Danny Pomeroy's here, says when our good old American boys landed in Vietnam, the residents all screamed, America, go home. And same thing in Minneapolis today. Well, it's a bit of a false comparison. I'm not sure if that really happened in Vietnam. I really don't know that actually. If the residents scream "America, go home," I really don't. I'm not sure if that's true. In fact, I don't really think that was true. And then in Minneapolis, let's not confuse. Even though ICE is very militarized, ICE is not our soldiers. They are a Trump goon squad. They're an army of goons of thugs that are working for Donald Trump, and they're not working for the government really. They are Trump's brown shirts. So I don't know if I think I wouldn't go comparing them to our military and to Vietnam War and everything. Anyhow, Miss Lundy says MLK was a Republican, wasn't he? That's what they say. That's what they say. But of course, being a Republican in 65 or whatever is a lot different than being a Republican today. But anyhow, they say the parties switched places around the time of MLK, and I believe they're switching places again. Dems were the party of the working man, and Trump says reps are. Well, just because Trump says it doesn't make it true. I think the Democrats still are the party of the working man. And I think the Republican Party is still the party of the oligarchs. So I don't think we're having any switching around there. There's no switching that. As far as MLK, being a Republican in 1964 or whatever, I don't know. I believe if he were alive today, I do not believe that he would be Republican. Let's just put it that way. But who knows? I guess we'll never know. I guess we'll never know. Ms. Leslie, we have to talk about both. Yes, we do. About the inhumane behavior of ICE, as well as the Epstein files. I agree, and there's lots of things we can talk about. The goal is too high. Did I set the goal wrong? I just put it at 5 super chats, I think. You think that's too high? 5 is too high? I don't know. I don't know what Rich is saying. Maybe Rich just took a big rip on his bong, a big bong rip. I don't know. Rob Glenn. Hey, Rob Glenn. Hi, John. Congrats to your Rams. We almost got you. It was close. If it wasn't for that fluke play where Caleb Williams had been driven back 20 yards, it was about to get sacked, and then he just threw up a Hail Mary into the corner of the end zone, and then our DB back there, for some odd reason, for some unknown reason, maybe he got pushed a little bit, but he just completely came off of that receiver, left him wide open, and Caleb, that was such a fluke, the fluke of all flukes, caught that for a touchdown, and that tied it up, right? If it hadn't been for that, the game would have been over. But we were able to win in overtime, and it was definitely it was a tough game, cold conditions, but still everyone out there just smash mouth football. It was just some good old fashioned smash mouth football. But thanks, Rob Glenn, for coming on in. I appreciate you for coming on in, saying hi. You might be gone already because I know I'm always 20 or 30 minutes behind. So just know somehow that I said hello to you. Let's see here. I'm kind of going on down here. Peter Chancel says Trump stopped the Venezuelan, the peace president, new scam, Nobel scam, start a war, stop it. Yeah. I guess that's Trump's idea of stopping wars. Is if he starts wars and then he says, "I stopped it." Yeah. Then he goes in. Yeah. Nick Rich 10:45. I'm still 20 minutes behind you, Nick Rich. I'm 20 minutes behind. Eddie Roman Rock says the distraction of destruction. Yep. Mad Mac sent 5 Truckers Run gift memberships. Thank you, Mad Mac. Yippee to Mad Mac. I do appreciate you. Thanks for helping grow the show. Getting those memberships in there. John Deff got one. Madam President Piggy was a recipient. Mark P is a recipient of a Truckers Run membership. No Money G and Peggy Dias in there. So thank you, Mad Mac. I appreciate you. I hope all the lucky recipients there will come on in and say hi. That would be wonderful. That would be so wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you, Mad Mac. Appreciate you. Mad Mac, we got some new people in here trying to get them excited. Thank you, Mad Mac. Appreciate it. Mr. Harshman, congratulations to the Rams. The third Seahawks matchup will be fun. Like I said, I think that's going to be one hell of a game up there in the Seattle. I don't know why I gave Seattle kind of a Minnesota accent there. I don't know. I know they don't. Portland people don't really talk. Portland people pretty much talk like Californians, as far as I'm concerned. Anyhow, DBD5844 says, and for anyone claiming that Gavin Newsom is our savior, fuck him. Why would he interview Ben fucking Shapiro and agree with him on calling Krusty Gnome a Nazi was a mistake? Are you fucking kidding me? All I'm saying is if Gavin Newsom becomes the nominee, you better fucking vote for him or you're going to end up with J.D. Vance. That's all I'm saying. And as much as you want to put down Newsom because you don't like it, because you want to play purity police on it, I would still maintain that Gavin Newsom would be infinitely better than any Republican. That's how bad the Republicans are. And I really don't think Gavin Newsom would be that bad of a president. Because, you know, he would get us back on track economically. He would restore relations that have been broken with the rest of the world. Gavin Newsom would still be a good president, in my opinion. So we can shit talk him. I guess now it's really early. No one's going to declare their run for the president until 2027. So, you know, we're probably a year away before knowing who's going to run. We're close to a year away. So all I'm saying is, yeah, sure. We can find things we don't like about candidates, but I still maintain that Gavin Newsom would be infinitely better than any Republican. And really, that's our only choices are either a Democrat or a Republican. That's the way it is, folks. Sorry to tell you. Sorry to burst your little bubbles. But when it comes down to 2028 presidential election, our really only two choices are going to be either a Republican or a Democrat. We could have all the third-party people you want to stick in, you know, to try to make a run. But they're not going to become president. It's going to be either a Republican or a Democrat. So if you want a shitty fucking person like J.D. Vance or Marco Rubio or Ted Cruz or God knows who, then let's go ahead and let's start destroying our Democratic candidates right now. Let's get an early start on it. Let's just get it over with. Let's yank the Band-Aid off and let's just start shit talking our Democratic, our potential Democratic candidates right now. Might as well start early. You know? Might as well just start early and get it going. Let's get it going. Mr. Spock says the Epstein files has nothing to do with ICE. Okay. Project 2025 is the goal, full takeover of government. They are way ahead of Schindler. They are really checking off all the things off Project 2025. Now, to say it has nothing to do with ICE, I don't agree with that. I think, you know, they welcome the distraction. Let's just put it that way. Sonny Fultz, I think you've asked me this question before about hockey. My favorite hockey team is the Vegas Golden Knights. Okay, I'll just say that. I'm not really a big hockey fan. I live in Vegas, and so since when I lived in SoCal, I would say the LA Kings were my favorite hockey team. But like I said, I don't really follow hockey all that much. It looks like a fun game. I've gone to one professional hockey game way back in the 90s, I think it was. I went to a Kings game, and I think they played the Winnipeg Jets or something. I don't know. Is that even a team? And it was fun. It was exciting, but I only have so much time in my days. I can't devote too much time to all these different sports. So pretty much for me, it's baseball and football. You know, I watch a little basketball. Of course, back in the 80s and stuff, in the early 90s with the Lakers and all that. So, and since I'm technically from SoCal, I was always a Lakers fan for basketball, LA Kings for hockey, and then, of course, Dodgers and Rams for baseball and football. But my two favorite sports are baseball and football, and so that's the two that I follow the most. But I don't really follow hockey all that much. So if I was going to say who's my favorite hockey team right now, I guess it would be the Vegas Golden Knights, and the Kings number 2, I guess. If anyone cares about the second favorite team. MJ Daniels here. MJ says that 1% was pretty much all known anyway. Fuck them. Yeah, they're putting out stuff Yeah, it's already pretty much known. And it's not even 1%. That's the thing. It's not even one. They couldn't even muster up 1%. It's like 0.4%. Luck Dragon, Sharks. No, I'm not. No, I do not like the San Jose Sharks. Luck Dragon. I'm sorry. I don't like anything in the Bay Area, sports wise. Okay, that's verboten. That is forbidden. If you're a Dodger fan or a Rams fan, even the Lakers or anything like that, it is verboten to like any team in the Bay Area. I don't know why you don't understand that. Those are our sort of like just a natural enemies when it comes to sports. DPD, it says, I know, yeah, fuck Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, Cory Booker, and Alyssa Slotkin, who want to give more money to the Nazi Gestapo to quote unquote train them better. What the fuck? Yeah, I don't agree with that. I believe ICE should be abolished at this point. It sprang up out of 9/11 and all that Patriot Act bullshit to begin with. So I've never been on board with it. But once again, I will vote for any of those people over a Republican. If I was in those, states or districts, I would vote for them. I would still vote for them over a fucking. Now again, if we're going to primary them and try to get someone who's better, that's more, I guess, more liberal or more progressive, and primary them, fine. But we come down to general elections, you got to put all that shit away. That's how it works, folks. That's how it works. Mr. Spock, they will cancel the midterms. You don't know that, and I really don't appreciate people saying it like it's a foregone conclusion. It's like a foregone conclusion that we're not going to have all that. Will not stand for it. Do you want to really wake up the American people? I mean, I do. I would like it. But do you think Donald Trump or the Republican Party really want to wake up the American people? You want to know one way you could do that? By wake up, I mean wake up like to get all out into the streets. So we would have 300 million people out in the streets. You want to do that? You want to know one way you could do that? Cancel the fucking elections. They're not going to cancel the elections. Like I said the other day, they're going to do everything in their power to suppress the vote. They're going to try to take away mail-in voting. They're going to try to limit the number of drop boxes. They might have ICE agents around the polling places to scare people off. They're going to do the shit like that, but they're not going to cancel the midterms. And it's so I don't appreciate when people just say that, like it's a foregone conclusion. It's bullshit. MJ Daniel says, I'm here in Washington and I'm seriously pissed too. And it is Minnesota now because he holds a grudge against Governor Walz. Others are next, I'm sure. Frida Love says, battalion now in Alaska, ICE making moves in northern Vermont and Maine. Eddie Roman Rock says, boycott CBS. Yeah, that whole, what's her face? There's a guy that walks by all the time and he's always playing some music. It's like really loud, like kind of like that really angry kind of rap music or something. DPD, if you can't fucking train individuals on a $150 billion budget, I don't know what to tell you. They all need to be primaried. No excuses. I know they are Democrats, but I don't give a fuck. Well, if you're going to primary them with other Democrats, I don't mind that. I really don't mind that. If you can get, if they can get good candidates that can primary someone, and they're going to be better than who's in there, then fine. But I don't know if we need to carry that sentiment into the general election. I mean, maybe instead of just calling them like derogatory names, how about calling their offices and telling them that you disagree with them? I don't know if that'll affect Chuck Schumer or not, but it might affect Corey, what's his face? You know, he might listen. You know, DPD, bless you too. Yeah, I've been sneezing and stuff. Yeah, thank you, DPD, by the way. Source of Five, greetings from Scotland. I can't even do a Scotland accent. I wish I could, but thank you for being here. I appreciate you, all the way from Scotland. I know sometimes we get Belfast Bob in here from Ireland. We get Paul Sharkey Mannion in here from England. Victor Harshman says, so because Trump didn't get the Nobel Peace Prize, we're threatening to go to war with NATO. What the fuck? Well, maybe Trump will declare war against them and then not go to war, and then that could be another thing where he stopped a war or something. Here I am at Marsha with a $5 super chat. Yippee, Marsha! Thank you so much. I appreciate you. So I'm going to give you a thumbs up there and a heart. Thanks, Marsha. I appreciate helping the show out, helping us grow, helping us stay on. Marsha says, hi, TJ and friends. I was diagnosed with breast cancer 12/31/25. Can't do anything until insurance change settles. Sorry about my absence. Love you all. Marsha, you do not need to apologize for anything. You're being diagnosed with breast cancer. And you do not need to be contributing any money to the show. You do not need to do that. I appreciate it so much, but I want you to take care of you first. Get your health. Your health comes first. That's number one. So I hope that your insurance gets that, gets everything settled for you, and you can get into your treatment and your care. My best thoughts of positivity going out to Marsha. Everybody. Yeah. Thanks for being here, and I appreciate you. But yeah, get that insurance going and get your treatments that you need to do going. Yeah, Mad Mac, love you, sweetheart. Fuck cancer. Absolutely, fuck cancer. Marsha says Medicare, Medicaid doesn't cover everything either. You have to have insurance. Yeah, I know. That's the thing. It only covers 80%, I believe. And that's why you have to have that gap insurance and all that bullshit. And they really should make it where Medicaid and Medicare, it should be 100%. DPD for D44 and any Democrat who can still support the Nazi Gestapo, they are against us all because they are condoning the actions of the Nazis and this regime. If by support you mean they're saying that ICE needs to have better training, I don't know. That to me is just some diplomatic googly goop. Write them letters and tell them that you disagree and that you think that ICE should be abolished. Maybe the more people that they know feel that ICE should be abolished, some of those folks might change their mind. Actually, some of them won't. I think it's worth a try, though. Marsha, a member for 7 months. Happy truck anniversary. Also, Marsha, thank you so much. Love this community. We love you, Marsha, and we want you to get well. And so we hope that your insurance comes through, and just we want you to not be stressed out, and just concentrate on your health, and then on beating this goddamn cancer. Mr. Spock just coming in with heavy negativity. Yep, and we'll cancel the midterms because even when he cheats, nobody will believe the results anyway. Well, I'm going to be operating under the assumption that I'm going to be able to vote, and I'm going to prepare myself to vote, and I'm going to encourage everyone to vote and make sure that your voter registration is up to date, and make sure you know the laws and the regulations of your state and of your area, so that you can make sure you don't miss out on voting. I'm going to promote that all the way to the end. I'm not going to be a proponent of all this negativity about that. How does that help us? No, we're going to vote. We are going to vote, and we are going to have a big giant blue tsunami, and we are going to get these motherfuckers out of office, these Republicans out of office. And we are going to take back the House. We're going to take back the Senate, and we're going to impeach Trump, okay? There, I said it. Are you happy now? That's what I want to hear. I want to hear that positivity. None of this negative bullshit. And if that means we got to keep Chuck Schumer in office and Corey, what's his face, in office to do those things, then I say so be it. I say so be it. Because if somehow those people, those are pretty safe seats probably, but if we lose seats and we don't get back those majorities, then we're cooked. Then we are fucking cooked. DPD 5844 says, my husband and I have decided to go to Minnesota in solidarity. Our politicians should do the same. If we can travel from Ohio to Minnesota, then I know damn well they can do the same because in this moment in history, we are all Minnesotans. I think that's great. I don't know. Do you post videos ever? If you go over there, maybe post some videos, take some video, and I think that'd be great to see. Have another point of view, another person's of what's going on over there. Hey, Robert Perez from down San Diego way. Good to see you, Robert. Thanks for coming on in. Robert says, "Yo, Trucker John, groovy day to you and all the love and all lovers of Constitution. A lovely adieu to you. A lovely adieu, adieu." Paul Burrows, Denver and Seattle in the Super Bowl. Do you think Denver's going to win? Their quarterback broke his ankle. Their starting quarterback is out. Paul Burrows. So they're going to be playing in the championship game against the Patriots, right? Patriots, right? So I'm not saying Denver can't win with the backup quarterback, but just to be thrown in here at the last second in the championship game is making things quite interesting. It makes things quite interesting. We'll see how it goes. Nick Rich, 12 noon in Vegas. I'm 27 minutes. I'm 27 minutes behind you, Nick Rich. I'm 27 minutes behind. I'm 26 minutes behind you. 26 minutes behind you. I'm 26 minutes behind you, Nick Rich. I'm not singing. Where's that coming from? I don't know who's singing that. It must be Tough Cookie. Is Tough Cookie singing, or was it Paul? Which one of you was singing? Which one of you was doing my shtick? That wasn't me. I don't have a voice like an angel like that. If I was singing it, it would be like, I'm 27 minutes behind you, Nick Rich. I'm 27 minutes behind. 27 minutes behind you, Nick Rich. I'm 26 minutes behind. That's my beautiful. Those are my beautiful pipes. That wasn't me. It wasn't me either. Because this is how I sing. I'm 27 minutes behind you, Nick Rich. I'm 27 minutes behind. I'm 27 minutes behind you, Nick Rich. 27 minutes behind. Okay, well, I don't know who the heck that was. Someone was singing someone else was singing the old minutes behind song. I don't know who that was. We got a mystery voice. MJ Daniel says we were at the 49er Packer NFC Championship, and this team reminds me a lot of those teams. What the Seattle team does? Now that little tune's in my head. It's in my head, and it won't go away. Oh, Gillespie says 10 years before 1965, the Klan were Dems. The Klan were Dems, but the Dems weren't Klan. You know what I mean? It was the Southern Dems, basically. The Southern Democrats. Mad Mac, I was screaming at that Hail Mary pass, TD. I was screaming too. I was like, oh shit! I was like, what are you doing? I was yelling at our defender there. I was like, why'd you come off of him? Why'd you come off of him? You left him all alone. Look, the Democratic Party didn't become modernized until after LBJ signed the Civil Rights Act. And again, it was, I believe, it wasn't the entire Democratic Party that were KKK. It was basically the Southern Democrats. DPD says, I always taught MLK was nonpartisan, even though his politics could be associated with the Democratic Party. Well, apparently people are saying that he's a Republican or was a Republican because he was I guess they've got the voter registration, which is public information. I guess he was registered as a Republican. I'm just saying, if he was alive today and wasn't, senile, because he'd be really old, he would more than likely be a registered Democrat. Maybe that's a bit presumptuous of me. I don't know. Democracy now it's the Trump Gilded Age, as in golden showers, as in he's pissing on all of us. Yeah. Donald Trump does not give one fuck, not even one fuck, to democracy, to the Constitution, to freedom, any of our rights. He doesn't give a shit about any of that. All he cares about is himself. Enriching himself, even at the cost of this country. Now, there's probably been a lot of people like Donald Trump, maybe not that were presidents, but just that were rich oligarchs, or could have been in politics also, or whatever. There's probably been a lot of people like that, but I think they kind of drew a line somewhere. Like even a lot of them maybe had a line that they wouldn't completely destroy the country in the process. But Donald Trump doesn't give a fuck if he destroys the country. Because he thinks he'll just start a whole new country, he sees Putin and he sees, these dictators and authoritarian governments and leaders. And he's like, I'll just be like them. But Dragon, he pushed off of him. It's obvious, but that was an amazing throw. Well, then they should have called offensive pass interference. But they didn't. It was an amazing throw, but lucky as fuck. I mean, I guess they run these plays in practice over and over and over again. And they know where the receivers should be. And he's like, I'm just going to chuck it to the corner of the end zone and hope my guy's there. I don't even know how he got the throw off, though, because he had, I think, all 4 D linemen for the Rams were all in his face, about ready to tackle him and sack him, and he just got the ball off. So the guy's like, this is what a cannon this guy has of an arm. He's falling backwards. He's got defensive linemen with their hands in his face, and he's able to just chuck that fucking thing like 60 yards or whatever it was. 60 yards. It seems like whenever I say the word yard, I always think I sound like I'm from the Midwest or something. 60 yards. But yeah, anyhow. It's amazing. I think it was a fluke. I'm going to call it a fluke, though. Just because I'm, bitter. But I shouldn't be bitter because we won, so I'm happy. Victor Harsman says Trump administration saying congressional laws passed by the House and Senate and signed by the president cannot be enforced. Sure, Jan. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense, right? Democracy Now says his excuse to threaten Greenland since he was denied peace prize, like the guy on a date who says he's a nice guy, then gets mad if he doesn't get laid in return for dinner because he's so nice. Yeah. Yeah, everything about Trump is so like, oof, it's so creepy. So creepy. Everett Tauscher is here. Hey, mother trucker. Hello, Everett Tauscher. Thanks for being here. Thanks for coming on in. Not sure if I've ever seen you before in here, so thank you. I want to thank you. I want to thank you. Thank you for coming in. Hey, O'Connor, no purity test. Everyone must vote. Everyone must vote. Well, yeah. But all I'm saying is, yeah, you can have your gripes, about Newsom or about, what was it, Corey? Why am I not remembering Corey's name? Corey Becker, whatever his name is. And Everett Township says, Hal says, hey. Well, yeah, thanks for coming over from Hal Sork Show. We can have our gripes and everything about it, but I'm just worried, like, I don't know. I guess I'm always worried about doing too much damage if that person becomes the nominee. Now what do we got to do? Now we got to take back everything we said? I mean, all I'm saying is, when it comes down to it, to the general election, if Gavin Newsom is our guy, we need to stand behind him. Because no matter what, he's still better than any of those Republicans I mentioned, or any Republican. Put any Republican, whoever it is, put them as the Republican nominee, and Gavin Newsom is still better. MJ Daniel, you see that woman on 21st Century Suffragettes that sounded like she was straight out of the movie Fargo. Love that. I believe that's the same woman that I had on my intro either yesterday or 2 days ago. So nothing against 21st Century Suffragettes. I watch their show and I give them thumbs ups all the time. But you don't even need to go to the 21st Century Suffragettes for that. I had the same one on my show. The one that said, "You betcha." The one that said, "Oh, shut up. It's ridiculous what they're doing." You bet. Hear that one? Yeah, I had that on my fucking intro, MJ, before they did. I beat them to it. Most of the stuff I have on my intros are before everybody else. That's why you need to come here first. I am the biggest, baddest, funniest. Watch your mouth. Hush your mouth. Gonna talk some shit. I am the best. That's why you need to come here before you go to any of those other people. No one is better than Trucker John. No one. When it comes to these YouTube shows. I'm even better than Texas Paul. I drink coffee and I don't even say anything about how your coffee should be. I don't give a fuck how your coffee should be. My coffee is what matters to me. Anyhow, I'm just kidding, you guys. I'm kidding. Anamore says, hello, TJ. Hello, Anamore. Just reminding everyone to not support companies that are supporting the fascists in the White House. Congrats on the Rams win last night. Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah. Let's not support anyone that supports Trump. If we can, I guess. MJ Daniel says Newsom would make a good president. Not the time to be so picky. But like I said, we're still probably a year away before we even start getting into that. You know, today on Hal's show, speaking of Hal's show, Carl Alessi was talking about, and Hal was talking about Mark Kelly. And I think Carl made some great points that Mark Kelly would probably be a great president because of his astronaut training and how those guys are trained to handle situations and to do it quickly and efficiently. Because when you're in space, if you don't do that, you're going to die. You're going to die. You're going to die. So I think Mark Kelly would probably be an excellent president, maybe even better than Gavin Newsom. I was big on Gavin Newsom early, and then I've heard people say, well, he said this about trans people, and he said this about this, and he said this about that. So now, Newsom maybe has fallen down a couple notches for me. Maybe Mark Kelly's above him now. But my point is, when it comes down to the general election, if Gavin Newsom is our guy, I'm voting for him with no hesitation. No regrets, no hesitation whatsoever. I will vote for Gavin Newsom if he's our nominee. Nick Rich, the Jets played the Leafs the other night. The game I went to was in 1993 or 1994. I went to a LA Kings game, or 95, I don't know, somewhere early to mid 90s. I went on a date with a very lovely woman that I probably could have married. But I ended up deciding I was too fresh out of my divorce, and I felt like I needed to play the market a little more. And looking back on it, she probably would have been a great woman to be with. But anyhow, that's a whole other thing. So I don't know who the Jets played. I'm talking about, this is back in the 90s, early 90s. Jets, Kings. I think it was the Jets. I'm not even sure. But who's green? Who's the green uniform? It's a green. I think they had a green uniform. Whoever they played. I don't know. I don't remember. I just remember me and my date had a great time, and she was a great gal who I think wanted to take it to the next level, and I wasn't ready at that point. I was still too fresh out of my divorce, and I just felt like I didn't want to just jump right into a real serious relationship that soon. TPD says TJ let it go when he interviewed Bannon and Kirk and criticized the trans community Then he said he would tax billionaires. And now he can't even call Krusty Gnome a Nazi. I can't. That's too much. Okay, so let me just ask you: in the general election, in the 2028 general election, if Gavin Newsom is the Democratic nominee, are you not going to vote? Are you going to vote for someone else? I guess you could say it's none of my business, but we're having a conversation here. You're the one that wants to continually criticize Newsom, which is fine to criticize him. I mean, when people are running for office, they open themselves up to criticism. That's fine, but I have to ask you the question: when it comes to the general election, you say you can't. Are you going to sit it out and take a chance that hopefully your vote didn't make a difference, and just hope that we don't get a Republican in there? I mean, that's the way I look at it. That's the way you got to look at it. We're not going to have the perfect candidate ever. Hillary Clinton was not perfect. I think she would have been an awesome fucking president. Even if Bernie Sanders had won, he would have been a great president, I believe. But he's not. He's not perfect. No one's fucking perfect. I think Kamala Harris would have been great. People have been pointing out her flaws and things like that. She would have been fucking great. Joe Biden was about 5th on my list in the 2020 election of all the people that were running. I had Kamala Harris above him. My number one was Elizabeth Warren. But I think he turned out to be a pretty damn good president. And I remember at the time, people were, in the first couple of years, people were comparing Joe Biden to fucking FDR. And people were so surprised that he was so progressive, because Joe Biden had always been more of a moderate. So my point is, you can hate Gavin Newsom all you want, but when it comes to the 2028 presidential election, and if he's the nominee of the Democratic Party, and if you're a registered Democrat, especially, I think you need to put that aside, and you need to do what's best and make sure that we get a Democrat in there instead of a Republican. And this isn't about tribalism. This isn't about none of that bullshit. Team blue versus team red. This isn't about teams. This is about what's best for the country. And a Democrat in the White House is definitely better than a Republican in the White House. Fuck, the Republican we have in the White House now is tearing down the fucking White House. Literally tearing it down, and figuratively tearing down our country. So if my choice was between Gavin Newsom and Donald Trump, it would definitely be Gavin Newsom. Because basically, Donald Trump can't run again. It's going to be either Vance or Rubio or one of those assholes. And my answer doesn't change. I would still rather have Gavin Newsom than Marco Rubio or J.D. Vance or Ted Cruz or any Republican. Fill in the blank. I would take Chuck Schumer for president over any Republican. I would take John Fetterman as president over any Republican. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you get it? Do you get it? Can you fucking understand how horrible Republicans are? That even a fucking dipshit like John Fetterman would be better. I would be better. And I'm even dumber than John Fetterman. I don't know why that's so hard to comprehend. Aaron West, happy truckerversary, 21 months. Hopefully I'm not buffering. I saw a weird thing just happen. I don't know. Anyhow, thank you, Aaron West. Yippee! Happy truckerversary to Aaron. 21 months. That's almost 2 years. Coming up on 2 years. I appreciate your support, and I appreciate all your help as a mod. Both you and Jolie, moderators extraordinaire, as I like to say. Eddie Roman Rocks says, we had elections during the Civil War. He can't cancel elections. They are not run federally. They are run by the states. Well, there's roughly about half the states are Republican, have Republican governors. In our I guess that would maybe, I haven't checked all those different state legislatures, but it might follow that pattern. Where, let's just say, roughly half the states are Republican. I wonder if Trump said, if he put it out there that he wanted to cancel the elections, I wonder if all the Republican states would cancel. But then, see, how would that work? So then, but then all the blue states say, okay, go ahead, we're going to vote. I guess that, yeah, I'm just thinking this out, right? I'm just thinking this on the fly here. So I guess it would be only the blue states, and so the Democrat would win all of the electoral college votes probably. So yeah, I guess that wouldn't work. Yeah, I don't know. I think their best technique, I guess, if they want to, is to suppress the vote in any way that they can. But yeah, to cancel them, no. Suppress, yes. And that's why we need to show up in just overwhelming numbers, so that it makes them, I think it makes it harder on them to try to suppress the vote or do anything like that. The greater numbers that we have. Anamore, hey TJ, by the way, where's Scrapes? Oh, he's around. He's around. Hey, always good to see Josh Sees. Josh Sees is in the lounge. Good to see you. Good to see Josh Sees. I am kind of skipping down in the chat because I know the more I talk, the further I get back. I mean, the further behind I get. Democracy Meow says he does want people in the streets, but he wants smaller groups than canceling midterms at this time. Smaller groups so he can do more damage while the others stay asleep and hope for the best at midterms. Just say, Lug Dragon 21st Century in the house. Hey, like I said, I watch them all the time and I give them thumbs ups all the time. Anyhow, they're going to try to suppress the vote as much as they can, and we need to be prepared for that, for sure. We need to be prepared for that, and I'm just encouraging everyone to vote, because I strongly believe the higher the turnouts, the harder it is for them to pull off some shenanigans. And in 2024, we did have, I've heard it was as much as 15 million people fewer that showed up than in 2020. And it was just enough to just get Trump over the hump. Now, I know we talk about all this other stuff going on, and I'm highly suspicious of some of these counts. But I believe if those 15 million had showed up, it wouldn't have been so close, because it was a very close race. It was a very close outcome there. Miss Leslie says we need to vote blue up and down the ballot. I don't care who they are at this point. The GOP has gone along with Trump's evil plans like automorons. They're destroying our country for power. Democracy Meow says they should just placate Orange Daddy with fake awards every couple of weeks so he can prance around and feel special. Yeah, but then we just have Stephen Miller running the country even more. So I don't know. It seems like no matter what, there's this. It's always something bad. Christina. Hey, Christina, Sunglass Squad is here. Hey, Christina, good to see you. Christina says, so far Medicaid covered everything I needed. It's just like some things they don't cover. And if you pay for it yourself, they'll cancel your Medicaid. So whatever they don't pay for, I don't get. Well, I guess you have to have Part D for drugs, I guess. I don't know. Again, they've even back in 1965 or when they started Medicare, in order to get it passed, I think they still had to have this compromise where it would only cover 80%, and then you'd have to use private insurance, I guess, to cover the other 20%. That was still like a little, little love letter to private insurance. Eddie Roman Rock says, as far as Newsom goes, I think he would be much more effective as a VP and not the president. He's too beholden to corporate interests. He vetoed Callie's universal health care bill also. Yeah, right now, and it's good to talk about this. I'm not saying that we don't talk about it and get the information out there, and and we can look this stuff up, and for our own, to make our own decisions on who we vote for. I'm just saying that when it comes down to the general election, I already know I'm voting for a Democrat, no matter who it is, because I already know that Republicans are shitty. They're shitty human beings as far as the politicians are concerned. I'm not talking about the actual people, because I have a lot of family members who are probably Republicans, and I'm still not willing. I don't want to say that they're shitty human beings. They're actually pretty nice people. So I'm not going to call just the regular voting people shitty human beings. I think they're misled. I think they've been propagandized and brainwashed. But as far as the politicians are concerned, they're all shitty. And so I already know I'm not going to vote for any shitty fucking Republican. So it makes it easy for me. It makes it pretty fucking easy. Now in the primary selection, that's when you do your work. And you try to vote for the best person. And that's where the work is. In the primaries, that's when we have a chance to try to get someone who's not so corporate as Gavin Newsom, let's say, or whatever. That's when we have our chance to get someone that we like better, who's more in line with where we think and where our stance is and stuff like that. But when it comes down to the general, I already know who I'm voting for. So it makes that part, the general election is quite easy for me. Christina Sungo Squad, they're not going to abolish ICE. We do need some immigration control, just not like they're doing it. So the law just has to be stronger on what they can and cannot do and hold them responsible. I agree. We do need immigration control. We need that. I think we should abolish ICE and probably just start over, or maybe just expand Border Patrol or something. I don't know. And I think we need to but to do that under this administration, it's not going to happen. So calling for the abolishment of ICE right now, you got to remember, politicians, they think, tactfully, they think, or diplomatically. So maybe Cory Booker, hey, I remembered his name, or Chuck Schumer and whatever, I mean, you got to think of I guess, the tactics, and you got to kind of, I don't know. I haven't really heard what they said exactly, but okay, for me, just Joe Blow or Trucker John, I'm not running for anything. I guess I don't have to worry about it. So yeah, I think I should be abolished, and that goes against what Hal Sparks says. Hal Sparks is against that also. I believe, if I heard him correctly the other day, I think it should be abolished. I think at this point, they're murdering people in the streets. They're blinding people. They're just grabbing people and disappearing them. This is not something we want in the streets of America. This is not what I thought I would see in the American street. This is something you see in third world countries. Donald Trump has made us a third world shithole country. So maybe something. So if you want to think of, okay, I'm a politician and I'm trying to be diplomatic and I'm trying to do blah blah blah, maybe I would say I should be shut down until we can get democratic control and we can operate it correctly, or something like that. I don't know. All I'm saying is, sometimes as a politician, you got to watch what you say. So whatever. I don't know. But for me, yeah, I should be abolished, and I think, and we should start from scratch. Yes, we need immigration control, but we need to have strong guidelines as to what that entails. That you can't act extrajudicially. You can't act without warrants. You can't just grab people off the streets just because they have an accent. We've seen that video, right? Just because of the color of your skin, you can't. This is not Papers, Please. Remember the big uproar over Papers, Please in Arizona? I think that was when Obama was president. I think there were right-wingers that were against that. Why aren't they against this now with what's going on with ICE? But yeah, I'm sure we need immigration control or whatever you call it. But I think ICE is just they've become this rogue organization, this extrajudicial rogue, really just an extension of Trump's of his power and just acting on his on his whims, and has been given the green light from him to J.D. Vance to Kristi Noem to Tom Homan to Greg Bovino. Pardon Wall. This is like the third or fourth time I've sneezed. I think. I don't know what's going on. Anyhow, but they've been given the green light to just fuck people up who are peacefully protesting, by the way. So for that, I think Cory Booker maybe should be saying ICE needs to be, instead of saying abolished, maybe he should say they need to be temporarily shut down or something like that. I don't know. But again, at the end of the day, if I'm in Cory Booker's district and he's our nominee in the general election, I'm voting for Cory Booker. Okay? I'm not voting for anyone with an R next to their name. DPD says, that's just it. TJ, you mean to tell me they can't see what's happening with their own constituents? I have wrote and contacted them. They aren't blind to social media unless they choose to look away. Mad Max says, I like your thinking about positivity in voting, TJ. Thank you, Mad Max. But yeah, DPD, yeah. Like I said, maybe he should change the word. Maybe he should say that it should be shut down, not abolished. Maybe we should not be saying the word abolished. I don't know. If you're an office holder or running for office, maybe, I don't know. Thanks for being here, guys. The chat was moving there, and its stuff was getting erased. Nick Rich, 12:28. I am clearly, I believe, a half hour behind. I'm a half hour behind you, Nick Rich. Marcia says, thank you, TJ and friends, for the well wishes and prayers. Lucy isn't used to kids, and I hear hissing. Hopefully, I can come back here tomorrow. I'm pretty quiet lately, anyway. Well, yeah. Our best thoughts and of healing to you, Marcia, and with getting your insurance stuff all figured out. John Glad's here. Always glad to see John Glad. Look, Dragon, I hope that you like cereal. Are we ending the show now? Or is that what the deal is? Is that we're gonna time to cue the happy song or whatever? DPD says, and no, TJ, I don't post videos on social media except for meals. Like yesterday, I made a turkey and chicken meatloaf with homemade sour cream and chives, mashed potatoes, and citrus glazed asparagus. It sounds lovely, and I quite truly, I would rather watch those videos than all these fucking ice videos. I wish that the world we were just in a place where we could just watch lovely meals being made. And I'm sure your videos would make my mouth water. As well as in Dixiecrats. Yeah, Dixiecrats. The Southern Democrats. They were the Dixiecrats. Christina and Sun Go Squad, this is all Lincoln's fault for making the Republican Party that pain in the butt. Yeah, because now the Republicans will always say, even Lincoln was a Republican. If we had Lincoln Republicans today, the Republican Party, I might even vote for some of them. I don't know. Okay, I'm a half hour behind. I need to skip down, guys. I need to skip down. MJ Daniel says DJT was saying the same nonsense about tariffs in 1988. Oprah interview, he is senile now, but he's always been stupid. Yeah, I think I've seen that clip. I think I've seen that. He hasn't changed in 40 fucking years or whatever, right? Still just as stupid now as he was then. MJ Daniel, if Democrats do not get the midterm, it will not matter. I agree. I think this midterm is the most important midterm congressional elections that we've ever had at least in my lifetime. At least in my lifetime, and I was born in 1960. You know? MJ Daniel missed the intro. Her, I think, yes. See, that's the thing. You should not be missing Trucker John intros. That's what I think everyone watches my intros who have other shows, and they're like, hey, let's put that in. I'm only kidding. I know if there's any 21st century suffragettes in here, they're like, fuck you, John. We don't copy you. We're just all on the same internet, and we all see the same shit, and we all are like, fuck, I'm putting that on the show, you know. Christina Sangosqua says, John, love you, but we need the girls because we have to get in touch with other women. Oh, I know. See how I like I said, I watch them all the time. I always watch them. Well, I think it's I don't know. Wait, with other women who think I don't know, okay for men to step all over them. So we need the girls. Absolutely, 100%, Christina. I agree. I was being a bit tongue in cheek about, I'm the best and all that shit, but I am. Just know that I am. As well as then, I feel invigorated after putting stickers beside store price labels that say, is the price down yet? Yeah, and it should be like, thanks, Trump. because they were, they had the thanks Biden stickers when they put on the gas pumps and stuff. Hopefully we're not buffering. I'm looking at my iPad. Maybe that's just my iPad, but my iPad looks a little choppy. The picture. Look, let's see on the TV. I got me on the TV also because I had House Sparks on, and then it went automatically to me. But it doesn't look too choppy over there on the TV. Just I think it might just be my iPad. Hopefully it's just my iPad. MJ Daniel, as long as Frances McDormand plays her in the movie, yeah. Look, Dragon. Trucker John doesn't like giving his opinion unless you force it out of him. Yeah, I'm. Yeah, that's pretty that's pretty accurate, I guess. Christina said, laughing out loud. Every time Paul says, "I hope your coffee is better than mine," I'm like, "Thank you, Paul. It's very good." Gosh, if somebody was sitting in my house for me talking to the phone, but not house. I think we all do that. I think we talk to I think we all talk to our TVs in one way or another. You know. Sandy Foltz, my chocolate cake came out delicious. It looked delicious, Sandy. I saw the video of you live streaming on Facebook, and it looked absolutely delicious. Bingo M5Q says Kelly and Newsom, LFG. That would be a pretty good ticket, I think. Well, I don't know. We have obviously there are people that have issues with Newsom. I think Mark Kelly would make a great president. Well, and I look forward to his campaigning. I think he's going to run. I think Newsom's going to run. Who knows? We might have Kamala Harris run again. I don't know. We might have AOC run. We might have, there's going to be 10 or 12 serious contenders. Hal Sparks has always said he's going to run. I don't know. I look forward to the campaign season. I look forward to the debates. I look forward to all of that. And we will, I think it's a good process for us to funnel down to our top 2 or 3 and then go from there. And, so we'll see. Maybe Kelly, maybe once he starts campaigning, maybe we'll find out that he's not the guy. I mean, you just never know. You really never know until it is actually primary season and they're out campaigning, and debating and all that stuff. So we'll just have to wait and see. But at this point in time, I think Kelly would be a great candidate. Robert Perez, you're hilarious. Robert says, although Trucker John doesn't shave and probably still pees in plastic bottles when on the road, but I'd vote for Trucker John before any Republican. You got my vote, Johnny. Thank you, Robert. And I feel seen. I feel seen. Bob LeBlanc is here. Hey, Bob, good to see you. Says radiation levels beyond the moon are lethal to life, I heard, so Mars is out without much shielding. Bring our own water on a one-way mission? I don't know. Did you guys hear about the guy, some recent Cal Berkeley graduate who started a company? Apparently he's got some big donors or something to start this company to build a hotel on the moon. On the moon. And a ticket will only cost you, I think it was $10 million. Would you go to the moon for 10 million? Like if you're a billionaire, 10 million is kind of like chump change, So, if I was a billionaire and it looked like it was all safe and relatively safe, there's, space travel is, there's always dangers, but I mean, I might consider it if I was I would have to be a billionaire or really a multi hundreds of millions there. But they got that's probably a scam by this guy. Robert Perez says, I have no TV, so I didn't see anything until the highlights came on YouTube. Bingo says, vote blue. Min J. Daniel says, our hockey game I have been to was a minor league game in Walla Walla, early 70s, when I was probably in grade school. Only thing I remember was the goalie getting knocked out by a puck to the face. Wow. And as a young grade schooler, that was probably pretty exciting to see. You probably thought that was pretty cool. Brooklyn SJU, hey Brooklyn, where you been? Where you been, Brooklyn? Where you been keeping yourself? Hey Brooklyn. Brooklyn says, I'm back from the gym and I'm hungry. Alrighty, get you something to eat. Alton Gillespie says the only perfect being to ever come to Earth was Elvis. Now that took a little turn. I thought you were going to say Jesus. That's funny. So I love it. I love that. I love that post. Sandy Foltz, Lug Dragon, the Buffalo Sabres are playing. Nick Chris says, if Canada was absorbed by the 47th administration, do you think they'd vote along with all the crazy shit? Right. Trump would be admitting a new state that would probably be a blue state. I think is that what you're saying, Nick? They would probably be voting his ass out at the earliest convenience. Michael Bagandros says, I took my son to a hockey game in the is it 60s? I don't know. Most dangerous place, or in the Sioux? I don't know what Sioux is, Michael. I'm sorry. You're always talking about TC and Upper Peninsula. I don't know if Sioux is supposed to be a Sioux City. Sioux is that? I don't know if that's a typo, but apparently it's a dangerous place. Both coaches got kicked out, and most of the players from both teams ended up in the penalty box. Well, there you go. That's hockey in a nutshell, I think. All right, I'm skipping down, guys, because I know I'm really behind. And we're at almost 2 hours, so I'll probably be wrapping it up pretty soon. I will be doing some taxi driving today, I think. Even though it's Monday, Mondays are slow, but I think I'm going to go out anyhow because I want to try to, like I say, I still want to get so many rides, per week. And so it's nice to get a few of them, done today. So anyhow, Luck Dragon says, I'm watching NBA. I don't have cable anymore. MJ Daniel, Newsom over any Republican, full stop. But let's let it play out. Let's let our primary process play out. Newsom might not even make it. I mean, he might flame out. After the first primary, a bunch of people drop out because they don't get any votes, so they get 1% of the vote. So who knows? Let's see how it plays out. Petrazi, 1920 is here. Hey, Petrazi, good to see you. And Petrazi says, 100%, John, no Republicans ever again. Yeah, we got to stop voting for Republicans. That's just the bottom line. Republicans are not good for freedom. They're not good for the Constitution. They're not good for democracy. And they're not good for a republic. They're not good for a democratic republic. They're not good for anything. So we got to stop electing these fucking Republicans. MJ Daniel says the Republican Party is deeply dangerous for the USA right now and must be replaced. Yeah, so in the meantime, just don't vote for him. Nick Rich says this Canuck appreciates all Yanks that want democracy, not fascism. Count me in on that. I do not want fascism, and I do want democracy. Brooklyn says, what's for lunch, TJ? I don't know. But I am getting hungry because I didn't have breakfast. Other than I had 2 slices of toast with my coffee. I don't know. BFL Tune says, what do you say to the Genocide Joe people who didn't vote for Biden or Harris because they could have ended the war in Gaza with one phone call? I think they're full of shit. I think so too, because did they think Trump was going to be any better? And we see that he's not. Trump wants to fucking raise Gaza to the ground. By raise, I mean like tear everything down, and he wants to build Trump hotels and resorts along the coast. So yeah, you're right. They are full of shit. Did they actually think Trump would be better? At least Biden was trying to work peace deals. He was definitely trying to do his best, and I think Kamala Harris would have tried. I think Kamala Harris would have even been better on it. I just think since she was the vice president, she was a little bit kind of handcuffed, maybe, in what she could say or whatever. But to even to not vote for Kamala Harris because you thought she wasn't good enough on Gaza, and by not voting for her, it helped get Trump elected, and now you've got Trump, who is all on board with Netanyahu doing whatever the fuck he wants so that he can build a Trump Tower there. You know? Yeah, it's just ridiculous. Petrozzi 1920, happy truck anniversary. Yippee to Petrozzi. Member for 2 months. Happy MLK Jr. Day, says Petrozzi. Thank you so much, Petrozzi, for the membership. I do appreciate you. The memberships are really sort of the lifeblood of this channel, keeping us going. Starting off at $1.99 a month. It's not bad. Not a bad deal. So you might want to consider doing that. Luck Dragon says Kelly Crockett. Oh, well, yeah, Crockett might run. 2028 LFG. Kelly, your name here, LFG. I think I would love to see Jasmine Crockett run. I would like to see her out on the campaign trail. Her and AOC both. You know. Mad Max says GOP has shown how little they care about America and do not deserve to be anywhere near the White House after their cult following and refusing to listen to logic. They are liars and cheaters. Hey man, I agree. But now we gotta cut through all the propaganda. There's huge amounts of propaganda. That's why Republicans have gotten anywhere that they've gotten. At least, especially in the last 40 years. It's all this propaganda. From like Fox News and right-wing media, right-wing radio, you know, Rush Limbaugh and all that shit. And we need to cut through all that shit. You know? We got another truck anniversary from Micro McAndrews. Yippee! Happy truck anniversary, Micro. Thank you so much. Remember, for 22 months. We had Aaron in for 21, I believe. Michael McAndrews, 22. You guys are like the OGs of the Trucker John live stream. Thank you so much, Michael. Appreciate your support of the show and being here. And like I said, these memberships really help the show a lot. $1.99, starting off at $1.99 a month. So consider becoming a member of the Trucker John. The Trucker John convoy, I guess. I don't know. Robert Perez says, but if we get into a global conflict under Trump, I think he's going to try to cling onto power and cry that you can't change presidents in a world war. He is the Antichrist and might get away with it. I am hesitant to put anything, past Trump or even the American voters. I think it's highly unlikely. But again, I wouldn't put it past it happening somehow, But like I also said, I'm going to operate under the assumption that we are going to have our elections free and fair, and we need to all be prepared to and be ready to vote. Vote, vote, vote. Brooklyn, full mod capacity. Yes, we are at full mod capacity. I won't do that too much because I know it's probably annoying. DPD says, question, is there a difference between a Republican and a Democrat voting to confirm one of the orange pedophile cabinet picks, even though the nominee will destroy the department from within? Why vote? Question, did that one vote, if that person hadn't voted, would it have made a difference? Would that person still got confirmed? That's my question, I guess. If we're getting all hair on fire for something that wouldn't have made a difference anyhow, probably, as far as that person getting confirmed. MJ Daniel says power, wealth, bigotry, religious extremism, that is the Republican Party. Let's see. Christina Sun Go Squad. Well, that's what I'm saying. This year we have to be so vigilant in the midterms and going forward so we can get in some good candidates. He did vote against a lot of things. I don't know why he would have. I am mid-thread. I'm not sure who we're talking about. If we're talking about, I don't know, Schumer or Booker or whoever. I don't know. Or Newsom. I don't know who we're talking about. Daddy Pomeroy says, I saw a podcast sign on YouTube. The sign read the White House address and where to send your old trophies. It doesn't matter what spot or gender, he will love them trophies. That's so funny. That's hilarious. DPD says, I will say this. I hope and pray that Newsom is not the nominee. Fingers and toes crossed. Okay, fine. And I'm saying, hey, let's let the process play out. Let's let the nomination, the primaries run their course, and we'll see where Gavin Newsom. There might be millions of people that share your disdain for Newsom as he goes through the campaign process, and he might wash out real early. Well, if he's only going to get like single digits in these primaries, then he's going to drop out. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Maria Warner says, TJ, are you going to be with me tomorrow on the trip for Free America? I am the inflatable Kenny. Wow. So, well, this is the first time hearing of it. I didn't even know there's something on the strip tomorrow for Free America. Wow, I didn't know that. What time? Maybe I'll go check it out. Maybe I'll take some video of it. Nick Rich with a $2 super chat. Thank you so much. Yippee to Rick, Nick Rich, 56 Nick Rich. There's a thumbs up for you. I don't know why it's taking so long. And a heart. Nick Rich says, TJ has an opinion that I agree with. Thumbs up. Well, there you go. I think we have a lot of opinions that things that we agree with, Nick. Jolie says, at this point, anyone that remains Republican is a shitty person. I just don't think we can blame ignorance anymore. Zero excuses and zero forgiveness from me. Well, I'm not so cold and heartless as you, Jolie. I have family members that I still love, and I'm not going to not love them, even if they are maggots. I'm not going there. I'm tired of being hateful. I'm tired of it. I want to be a more loving, caring, gentler Trucker John. Christina Sungo Squad says maybe every state, like a police department, should have their own immigration department instead of the federal government running it. Well, these are ideas. Yeah, we can spitball. We can spitball. DPD says, say, I don't know, 5 milligram of Delta 9 THC. Oh, now we're talking. Oh, I would say 5 milligrams. Now we're talking pot talk. That's you guys. You guys can do that. I really don't do that. So it's like it's all like Greek to me, I guess. I don't know. Christina Sun Goswa says because then they can get their warrants and they know who's in their states, and I think it would be easier anyway. Well, I don't know, but like I said, we can spitball it. Michael McAndrews with a $10 super chat. Yippee, Michael McAndrews. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And I'm going to give you a thumbs up and a heart. Michael McAndrews says, I think ICE should be abolished and held accountable for the atrocities and harm they have done. I think so too, Michael. I'm just saying, I'm not sure if I'm ready to completely cancel a Democratic politician if they're not there yet, or if they're trying to be, I don't know, maybe too tricky or too cute by half or whatever. But I agree. I think it should be abolished. But I do think we need immigration enforcement, and I think we should probably just start from ground zero. But I'd rather wait until we have Democrats in charge to do that. So in the meantime, instead of abolishing ICE, which will probably never be done under a Republican regime, maybe the best thing we can hope for is to say, hey, they need to be brought in and retrained, or they, and all those things that they were saying. Maybe under a Republican regime, Republicans are in power in the White House. They do hold the majorities. So maybe the thinking is, okay, look, Cory Booker, he might be all for abolishing ICE, but maybe he's a realist, and maybe he knows how to count, and he knows that, okay, we're not going to get abolishment of ICE. We're not going to get that passed anytime soon. But maybe we can get some bipartisan support if we say, hey, look, these guys are failing out there. They're let's help them improve. Let's bring them in and get them the training they need and stuff like that. That's all I'm saying. You got to learn how to count. They don't have the majorities. They don't have the White House. Going around with your hair on fire screaming that that ICE needs to be abolished, if you're a sitting office holder in the House or the Senate, that's probably not going to work. You might be better trying to get some bipartisan support of getting those things that they were mentioning, about training or whatever else they were talking about. So I don't think I don't think we need to fly off the handle and go, God damn, fuck those assholes. Let's primary them. Learn how to count, people. Look at who controls that White House and the Congress, and learn that you're not going to get an abolishment of ICE through in this atmosphere, in this current makeup of our government. Nick Rich, does anyone feel left out? Give us your feedback, folks. DPD says, I know I will take flack for this, but sometimes Hal comes across as condescending with an air of white privilege. Come on, with the clap back, I can take it. I know you can take it, DPD. That's what I love about you. I know you can take it. I think you haven't left me yet. Some people leave me because I might disagree with them, but I think you can take it, and I think we've kept everything civil. Hey, Fancy's here. Good to see Fancy. Fancy made another video, one of her videos, with a character named Trucker John. And I watched the video, and I was like, here's my thought process. As I was watching it, I was going, are those nipples? Watch Fancy's video, and you'll know what I'm talking about. There was a couple of points there in the video where I was just going, are those nipples? So if you want to know what I'm talking about, go check out Fancy. She's got a channel right here on YouTube. She's on Facebook. She's posting great videos. There's one that features, I guess, me, Trucker John, and if you want to know what I'm talking about, go check it out. And you too might be going, are those nipples? And you got to kind of crunch your face up a little bit too, and kind of cock your head to one side. You know, are those nipples? Moving on. Nick Rich, TJ, I appreciate it. Luck Dragon, TJ is worth copying. See, I'm so far behind. You guys are talking about stuff, you know. Luck Dragon, just like 21st Century Suffragettes, I too was raised by wolves. Look, I love 21st Century Suffragettes. I watch those shows. I watch 21st Century Suffragettes. I watch Boston Brian. I watch Texas Paul. I watch Hal Sparks. And I give them thumbs up. And I subscribe to those shows. So just so you know, just so you guys know. All right. If I talk a little tongue in cheek, you know, I talk tongue in cheek. Aaron West says, I just got a phone call that I won a 3-day trip to Vegas. I can switch to Orlando or Hawaii too. Who wants to go to Hawaii? I was just going to say, take Hawaii. Who wants to go to Hawaii for just 3 days though? Oh, well, hey, it's better than nothing. I would go to, if I were you, I would go to Hawaii. That's just me. I haven't been to Hawaii since 1989. That was my one and only time. I would love to go to Hawaii. Christina Sungo Squall says, I'm waiting for Hal Sparks to run, and I would hope he would win, and I would vote for him. Mad Mac, Hal Sparks POTUS, TGV POTUS. Boy, I don't know. Hopefully nothing would happen to Hal. That's all I'm saying. Michael McAndrews, Kamala would have been a great president. Dang. I think so, and who knows? Maybe she'll run again. You never know. Trump ran. He lost and ran again. Nixon lost and ran again. Joe Biden ran a bunch of times and finally won, you know. So who knows? DPD 5844 says, what happens if other countries decide it's time that we pay them back money that was borrowed, which would surely bankrupt the U.S., and we are already morally bankrupt? Why not add financial onto the list? I don't know. Do countries also owe us money too? Can we just do the same thing to them? I don't know. Let's see. Petrozzi, no, I wouldn't go. See, I'm so far behind. I don't know what that's about. Christina Sungoswa says, I am just starting to get comfortable. If I have to take a plane, God forbid, never mind going into space. Okay. Would I go to the moon? That was the moon thing. See, it was so long ago that I talked about that I didn't even remember it. Okay, so no, I wouldn't go. So if you were a billionaire or say, you know, worth, I don't know, hundreds of millions of dollars, and you felt, and this is all hypothetical. Okay, this is a hypothetical. Because I know we could talk about all kinds of everything, but just as a hypothetical, it's safe. Let's say it's as safe as anything else, you know. But anyhow, I guess we don't need to get bogged down on that. So if you go, you want to go, you go. You don't want to go, but just know that it's probably a ripoff right now. The real thing, taking it out of the hypothetical, the guy starting this up, I think, is just scamming some people out of money. Just so you know. Nick Rich, Canada has no land editions like DJT has. Land editions. I'm skipping along, guys, because I guess apparently I'm still very far behind. Big Hook, the Big Canuck says the Rams won. Yeah, they did. Hoser, they did, you hoser. Where's your toque? Where's your toque, eh? Wow, it's fancy. Says nobody staying in those hotels would be safe. Again, hypothetical. It was a hypothetical. Okay, Dippity, your thoughts on Michael Cohen? I have not really watched a lot of that. I watched there's a guy, I forget his name. I was watching a video about, because I've just been seeing like the headlines and the blurbs about Michael Cohen, and apparently how he's kind of flipped back and he's supporting Trump. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. So I guess he's trying to get back in Trump's good graces or something. And then I saw Cohen posted, I think it was on Substack or Threads or something, and it was just titled like my video response, defending myself against the criticism or whatever. And I purposely didn't want to watch it because I don't give a fuck. I never liked Michael Cohen to begin with. I never trusted him to begin with. All the times I saw him on like Midas Touch and all of this shit, and even though he was saying the right things, and he said a lot of things that I probably agreed with about criticizing Trump and all that. I still never really liked the guy. I always felt like the only reason he's sort of coming clean or whatever is because he got caught. He got caught. And so now he's having the mea culpa. That wasn't the title of his book, Mea Culpa. He had his mea culpa moment. And the only reason he showed any type of I don't know if sorrow is the word or regret or anything like that is because he fucking got caught. And if he hadn't got caught, he would still be the same scumbag that he's always been. So my opinion, you want my opinion? My thoughts on Michael Cohen? I think he's a scumbag. And I've always thought he was a scumbag. And I never really bought any of his shit when he was on Midas Touch. And again, I think there were things he said that during that time that, I agreed with. But I always felt like he was just saying what he felt he had to say. And all because he got caught. And if he didn't get caught, he would still be the huge scumbag. And I think we're seeing that. I think that's coming to fruition right now. So that's my thoughts on Cohen. I'm not really going to waste too much of my time watching his videos. Maybe if something pops up in my feed, and maybe I'll give it a watch. Like last night, I watched, I think it was a 10-minute video on one of the YouTubers, one of the progressives, that sort of touched on stuff that was going on. And other than that, I pretty much stayed away from it. But I don't, like I said, I never liked him, never trusted him. I mean, I appreciated some of the things he was saying as far as criticizing and going after Trump, but I always just saw that as sort of revenge, trying to get some sort of revenge against Trump, and that he really wasn't a truly repentant person. Okay, I think that's enough on my thoughts on Michael Cohen. Andrew Petrie, I've been here since day one. Thank you, Andrew Petrie. Thank you so much. I do appreciate you being here, being a long-time truckler. Appreciate you. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for coming back. Aaron West says they are saying we are going to get a snowstorm in North Carolina this coming weekend. Get your tickets to Hawaii and get to Hawaii and avoid the storm. That's what I would do. I think that's what I would do. DPD says, but that's the point, TJ. Why vote? Because even though your vote does not count, it will still be recorded in history, which because as a part of the legacy. Yeah, I understand that. I guess I understand that, but look at I don't know who you're talking about. Who voted for some of these nominees. I don't know if they were in moderate districts. They weren't in an AOC district, or I don't know if this is a state, like a Senate thing. I really don't know. I'm not going to pretend to know. I'm not going to pretend to know the reasons, but I think, to me, I've got other things to worry about, and I don't really spend my time worrying about a vote for a confirmation that was going to go through anyhow. I think there's other things for me to worry about and get upset about. But, duly noted, I guess. Big Hook says January 23rd is supposed to be a day of strike for unions because of actions in Minnesota. January 20th. Let me make a note over here. That's why I have my pin now, so I can make little notes. January 23rd is going to be some sort of a strike, I guess, for unions. Maybe in support of unions. Yeah, duly noted. Zolda Zin's been a member for 17 lovely, glorious months. Thank you, Zolda Zin. Yippee! Happy truckerversary to Zolda Zin. As old as Zin? I don't know. Is Zolda Zin. Both Trump and Vance are evil. Vote blue. Thank you, Zolda. Thanks for being a member. Again, you members are really you help keep us going, keep me going. Thank you so much, Zolda. This thing at my iPad is getting really choppy, and it kind of freezes up. Wow, what's going on with my post-nasal drip? I think I had a little post-nasal drip going on there. A. O'Connor says running a background check on ICE would defeat the whole purpose of what Trump told Puppy Killer to do. Well, anyhow, I'm just saying. I think coming out and saying we should abolish ICE as if you're a sitting member of Congress. Yeah, I mean that might get you. That might look at your internal polling. I guess that might get you votes, or that might lose you votes. Who knows? But I think calling for reforms might be a little more realistic. Like I said, looking at the makeup of the Congress. Not that Trump would ever sign it, probably. I mean, but you might have a chance at maybe an override if you're talking about reforms as opposed to abolishment. I don't think you have any chance of getting any abolishment through. A. O'Connor says Jill Stein will never be in the White House. She sat at the table with Putin and Mike Flynn, who has lost his mind, of all people. Is that no fucking way? I don't know. I'm not sure what NFW means. Well, Jill Stein was never going to be president, no matter what. Even if those photos of her sitting at with Mike Flynn and with Putin and stuff had never shown up, she was never going to be president, ever. Neither was fucking Ralph Nader. Neither was fucking what's his face? Whatever. So, like I say, what's his face? They're never going to make it. Big Hook, when TJ falls this far behind, he can't see relevant comments, unfortunately. I could look at the very current one. Lug Dragon says DPA 54. Here's the most current one. All wars start with T. Tariffs. All wars. Next. I don't know if that's true, though, actually. I don't know if all wars start because of tariffs. I don't think they do. I don't think that's true. Mad Mac said his podcast is called Mea Culpa 2. Right. Yeah. His book, his podcast, anything like that. Like I said, I think I've given my thoughts on Michael Cohen. Deepa D asked for my thoughts. Those were my thoughts. Maria Warner says 2 p.m. at the Fountain of Bellagio. Oh, okay. 2 p.m. Let me write that down too. See, I've got a pen that I picked up off the floor using my toes, because I have toe flexibility or whatever. Anyhow, so let's say 2 p.m. at Bellagio. Fountains. Of course it'd be at the fountains. Where else would it be? A nice big walkway there. It's really nice, a really nice wide area to walk on. And there's so few tourists here in town that you'll have plenty of room. You should have plenty of room. And it's going to be on a Tuesday, so we have even more room. Big Hook says Michael Cohen operated on the same level as Trump and used the mob mentality when dealing with reporters and others who had issues with Trump. Yeah. DPD says currently we owe $9 trillion to China, Japan, and the UK. Our national debt has surpassed $38 trillion. China, $800 billion, Japan, $1 trillion, and the UK, $700 to $750 billion. Okay. Yeah, we're up to our eyeballs in debt. Okay, I have skipped down to basically almost the end here. So, DBD says, TJ, do you have a temperature? No, I don't. I don't think so. Your body? No, my body's not aching. Have you had your flu and COVID vaccine? Please wear your mask. Laugh, laugh, laugh. I don't have a temperature, and I don't have any body aches other than just being old and having my old person body aches that I have 24/7, 365. Um, maybe I have a. Well, you know what? I think full disclosure, I had been going without using my CPAP machine for quite a while, and I got used to not using it. And I felt like I was sleeping really good without it. And so I was like, fuck it, I don't want to bother with it. But then the other night, about a week ago, I guess, I was sleeping and I woke up like choking to death. I mean, that's how sleep apnea, you can die in your sleep. And so that was kind of like literally a wake up call because it woke me up and I was like, oh my God, I could have died. Because I could feel when I woke up, I could feel like my throat or something being like swollen shut, and I woke up gasping. So then I was like, "Fuck! I better get back on the sleep apnea on the CPAP machine before I end up dying in my sleep like Adam the Woo did." Again, I don't know if he had sleep apnea, but I'm just saying, you know. So now I've been using my CPAP. What am I calling it? My sleep apnea machine? My CPAP machine. Um, for the last week or so. And the thing I've noticed about that's when I've been getting the stuffed up nose. I think the sleep apnea gives me the CPAP machine. I think it makes me get a stuffed up nose. I think that's what it's from. I don't think it's a cold or a flu or anything like that. But anyhow, and I am sleeping better. I thought I was sleeping so good, and now with this going back on the CPAP machine, I'm getting even better sleep. Much deeper sleep, and I should have been staying on it this whole time. But since I moved here, and I packed it and everything, I just didn't unpack it. I didn't, and I was like, I'm sleeping good. I don't need it. And so for the past few months, I haven't been using it, and now I'm back on it. But now it gives me a stuffed up nose. Mr. Spock says Cohen must be all over the Epstein files. Yeah, is that it? Is that why he's going back, crawling back to Trump? I guess, yeah. A.L. Carter, Michael Cohen knows all about Trump and Epstein. He's got to. He's got to. And if he was smart, he would, well, see, that's the thing. He is kind of in between a rock and a hard place because you've got Pam Bondi and Republican DOJ. I mean, if this was a Democratic, administration, maybe he could work a deal like a immunity deal, a plea deal or something. But it's for his testimony and everything. But as it is, he's probably feeling like he's just dangling in the wind, But not that I feel sorry for the guy. Whatever bad things happen to him, I think he deserves. So. Big Hook says, get yourself a HEPA air filter for allergies. I don't think I have allergies. It's a CPAP thing. It helps me sleep much better, and the white noise distracts the tinnitus. I don't have tinnitus either. As well as TJ, is it the weather making it worse? No. I think it's the CPAP. Look, Dragon born to be wild, born to expire by the tramps. David Pomeroy says, yeah, Cohen was the lawyer that negotiated the contract with women like Stormy. Robert Perez says, haha, Johnny, sorry, all the time I thought your coke dealer was giving you some chopped cocaine. Oh, yeah, I don't have a coke dealer. DBD says, listen up, Trucker John. Please take care of yourself. Your children need you, and we need you. So use your CPAP machine every night. Understood. No more taking a chance. Okay, DPD. You're right. I can't argue with you on that. I cannot argue with on that. Mr. Spock says someone should publish a parody Epstein files complete with AI renderings of events. I don't know. I haven't heard in the last few days what's going on with the survivors, but they were saying that they were going to do their own list, put out their list. I'm waiting for that because as the DOJ and Trump administration keep stalling and stalling and stalling. Like I said, they've only released 0.4% of all the files, and I think they've filed a lawsuit to stop the stuff from releasing anymore. I think the survivors need to go ahead and put their list out. And I know there are dangers of that. I'm sure they're talking with their lawyers, and the lawyers are telling them the risks of that. But as far as them then being sued and everything else like that, but then people are saying, hey, let them sue them and take them to court, and you can enter all your stuff into discovery. Whatever evidence you have, you can put that into discovery. And maybe that might be the thing that would save them from being sued by Trump. Sorry, guys. I think I just needed to get a good blowout there. All right, guys, here we are at over 2 hours, almost 2.5 hours. I want to thank all the trucklers that came over today. Thank you so much. Thank you, Hal, for sending folks here. Thank you, probably Aaron, for helping with that, who mods over there. So thanks for that. Always great to get a good boost of the folks from there, and I appreciate that. Thank you guys for watching. We got 119 likes, 71 watching. So we are after all, we are operating like really good Democrats with that good surplus. We have a good surplus of thumbs ups. So thank you guys so much. I'll be back again tomorrow I'm just going to do 11 a.m.s. I think. So disregard if you see stuff on the outro and you see stuff that says 9 a.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I think I'm just going to do 11 a.m.s at least for a while. Because if I'm out driving and everything and I get home really super late, it's a little bit easier for me to do an 11 a.m. show than it is a 9 a.m. show. So tomorrow, 11 a.m. Pacific time, that'll be 2 p.m. for you folks on the Eastern time zones. We'll be back again and we'll talk some more. We'll talk some more about what's going on in the world. And I will try my best not to piss people off to the point where they won't come back. I don't know. Hopefully we have we're just having fun, and you guys can tell when I'm being tongue-in-cheek or whatever. All right, guys. I guess that is it. I'll see you guys, like I said, tomorrow at 11 a.m. Thank you so much for being here. I do appreciate you. If you haven't subscribed, please consider it. We're over 4,300 now, so that's great. We're trying to get to 4,500, and then from there, 6 million. So we got a ways to go. So hit that subscribe if you want to. I would appreciate it very, very much. I don't think that just because I was on earlier that I'm not going to be on now, Trucker John. I know what you were thinking. You were thinking, oh, good, I got that tough cookie thing out of the way, and I can just end the show. But no, it doesn't work that way, my friend. It's kind of like traditional now that I come on at the end and just say some stuff. I don't know. Come on. It is what we do. We end the show with Tough Cookie. And I was on earlier, but that's not going to get you off the hook, Trucker John. All right? Excuse me. I have a bit of a cough. I think I've got a flu. Trucker John should be masking up just because of me. Anyhow. But thanks, everyone. Thanks for being here, everybody. And remember, don't eat cookies. They're bad for you. Cookies are bad. Just eat asparagus and broccoli, things like that. Do not eat cookies. For the love of God, you just may be eating one of my relatives. So please, no cookies. That's all I have to say today. Sorry, I was eating a cookie. Sorry, tough cookie. I was just I did eat one. Anyhow, yeah. Thanks everyone for being here. You guys are awesome. There's the heart there. I like to give everyone. Thanks for being here today. And yeah, likewise, Trucker John. Just because I was on earlier doesn't mean that I'm not going to be on. I gotta say goodbye to everybody too. So, and thank everyone. Thank everyone for being here today. And purple power, baby. Let's turn red to purple, red to purple, purple to blue. If I had a blue beard, then I would say purple to blue. But I'm going to say red to purple. All right. That's what we should be working on. Turning red to purple, purple to blue. And we're going to vote. I'm voting. We're all going to vote. Let's get high numbers out there this November. We'll be voting. If I've got anything to say about it, we will be voting. Okay. So, all right. Thanks for being here. Talk to you guys tomorrow. All right, Paul, the purple beard guy, tough cookie. Thank you guys so much for being here. I will see you. The only thing left to do is the words of wisdom. This is where you guys get your writing materials out. You get your pad out and write these down. These are really good words of wisdom. Everyone loves them that I talk to. So are you ready? Okay, so here we go. Today's words of wisdom are as follows. Word number one. Word of wisdom number one. There's a whole list of them here. Number one. Okay, ready? So, write this down. Okay, guys. So
well, it's time to say goodbye. The show has come to an end. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. Have some fun times, hopefully nothing too bad. We might talk about war crimes. Might talk about Baghdad. I doubt we'll talk about door chimes. But if we did, I'd be only too glad. So hasta la vista, baby. The show is over, but could I ask you maybe to take a shower? No, that's not what I meant, but I couldn't think of anything to rhyme with over. All screwed up. Oh shit, I should have stuck to truck driving, who I tried to kid. At least when I was out there driving, I could handle a skid. But doing this live stream, baby, has been a real kid. So I hope to see y'all again right here on Trucker John live stream. We're gonna do it again and again, right here in the Trucker John live stream. Yeah, the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna come back and do it all again. No, this ain't no dream. This is where we win. it's time to say goodbye. The show is coming in. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. Rolling down the highway in my rusty old rig. I'm a retired trucker, but my spirit's still big. Living in Vegas, where the lights never sleep. Broadcasting my thoughts for the world to keep. From politics to pop culture, I've got it all. Sharing my views, no matter how big or small. Talking about food, the movies and bugs. Shining a light on all the social issues. No shrugs, I've driven through the desert, seen the city so bright. But now I'm living in a different kind of fight. From my apartment in Las Vegas, I hold the key, exploring the world through my live stream for free. In my apartment in Las Vegas, I hold the key, exploring the world through my live stream for free. So you wanna take a trip down Paradise Road, but it ain't that pretty, it ain't paved with gold. Everybody's got the dirty little secrets, everybody's got some things unknown. But if you ain't real careful, baby, it'll cut you down to the bone. Under all those bright lights, you've gotta learn to ignore the glitter. It's all about fight or flight, and you don't wanna do either. So go on down to Paradise Road, it'll make you wish that you were young. But all it'll do is make you feel old and regret trading in your love for lust. It's all just a big charade, it's all just one big game, and it ain't about love. It's all about the thrills, it's about staying in the hunt, it's about going in for the kill. So head on down to Paradise Road, that's where your friends are now. They're the people that nobody knows. So go ahead and make your big show. So live it up on Paradise Road, just don't let anyone know. It'll be your dirty little secret, it'll be your guilty little pleasure. Living a secret that the whole world sees, hiding in plain sight among the scum and the thieves. It's so damn hard to ever be pleased. Everyone wants to live the good life, everybody wants a piece of paradise. But where would you run? Where would you hide? What would you do to buy a little more time? Grandiose dreams of happily ever after are really just another day's end. And when the sun goes down, you just lay there wondering, can you really do it all again? You're praying for one last shot, you're hoping for one last big win. Paradise Road is calling, so you better hurry along. Paradise Road is calling, so you better hurry along. Show's over, I'm out of here, folks. Bye.